So how do we do inner work when we're faced with something unchangeable or irreversible? How do we allow ourselves to feel those painful feelings if they are around something that we cannot find any other way of looking at than a tragedy? Hey, my name is Anya. If we haven't met, this is my book available here on TikTok Shop about how to transform your world from the inside out. And I teach people about consciousness. And the process that I describe in the book would help somebody find that inner freedom no matter how unchangeable reality looks on the outside. So let's go back to the unchangeable reality. So often when we experience life, we see things that are happening in life as changeable, or sometimes they become unchangeable. And when things become unchangeable, when the reality is like this, and it's always going to be like that, at best we can find a better attitude, right? So we don't sink when life is unfolding for us in this particular way. But what we don't realize is that we have a lot more freedom, because there isn't just one variable, which is reality, what is happening in the world of created things, what is happening with our loved ones, what is happening with our body. There's another variable, and that variable is the identity that I write about in the book. It is a created sense of self that is highly dependent on that piece or part of reality that it is witnessing as unchangeable. This is what creates incredible suffering when we come to a point where we, in our mind, realize that this part of reality isn't going to change. Like we cannot bring back our child, or we cannot bring back our body to the state of health. But if you do the work that I describe here in the book, you will be surprised at how much inner freedom you can gain, even in the presence of what looks like unchangeable reality, and how often other opportunities, avenues, resources, ways open up to the consciousness that sets itself free, even in the presence of something that looks as solid as a paralyzed body, for example. Often people hesitate releasing their consciousness grasp on that costume, on that identity that is dependent on this being fixed in order to be okay, because they believe that by releasing identification with what they can release identification with. So unchangeable, but this is completely changeable, yet we don't want to change it because we believe if we change it, we lose something, or we agree to something we don't want to agree to. It's as if we're making it okay for the body to be paralyzed, or we are losing what connects us to the person that passed if we allow ourselves to gain a degree of space between the identity that needs them to be here and consciousness that can allow things to be as they are. But what happens in reality when you release your identification with this conditioned part of you that must have the world perfect in order for it to be okay, you gain access to such peace, to such bliss and joy, and it doesn't render you inactive. If there is a pathway to change your situation, to restore your health, to find other ways of being in the world, those pathways will be revealed to you, because now you don't need to support the identity's suffering because something got broken over here or something didn't go as planned. In the case where something cannot change, like you cannot bring that particular person back from the dead, you discover the joy and the freedom to celebrate life and be engaged with life while still being aware that you're always connected to every form that ever was and ever will be, and that you get to be alive while you're here and while you're living. Try this process. It might surprise you to how much freedom you actually have, even if things in life look like they cannot be changed.